Hey gang, John Bacarella here with this week's Lake St. Clair Fishing Report, brought to you by Sportsmen's Direct. So last week we didn't have a report. The weather was looking pretty horrible going into the weekend, so I didn't want to bore you with just the same old, but we did have time to sit down with Captain Jason Quintano and go over some little bit of history from this year, a little bit about what's going on out here on the lake, talked a little bit about his brother's championship win. So hang tight, and as soon as I get done with this week's fishing report, we're going to jump right in and talk with Captain Quintano himself about what's going on out here on the lake with regards to the muskie fishing here this fall. So we'll jump right in here for this week. Shore fishing for the walleyes here locally has still been really good. Even with really bad weather, the guys are still getting out and casting from shore and doing great. So if you have the time and the ability to get into any of these shore locations, whether it's a marina, a park, you got a buddy that lives somewhere along the shoreline, even if he's not on a point, honestly, closer he is to either lights or to some sort of a water flow, or if he's on a corner somewhere along the shoreline, it's going to improve your odds. But if you've got somebody living along the lake here, take some time, go grab a six-pack and go have a little visit and chuck some bombers or jointed rapalas. Even deep diving cranks on certain nights are doing good for some of these guys. So they're really either fishing like within the top 3 feet of water or getting right down on the bottom. Even still blade baits, guys. We're still even hearing fish being caught on blade baits. So if you got a chance, get out and try to cash in on some of these fish. It's only going to get better from here up until ice up, but right now the weather is still pretty decent. You can fish without using gloves, and the rod tips aren't icing up yet, so it's really kind of nice fishing conditions for that nighttime walleye bite. I've just got off the phone with Joel Anderson up at Anderson's Bait up in Port Huron up there, and he's pretty much telling me the same thing. The guys at night are really starting to pick up some nice fish. They're getting fish over on the Canadian side, jigging. Over in that hole over there on the Canadian side, he said the depths are varying from day to day, and a lot of it's based on water clarity. Other thing he brought up is we're going to change a little bit from walleye, but we're going to keep talking about Joel's report up there. Lexington Harbor is just absolutely stacked with Atlantics right now. So Lexington is just stacked with fish. It's even worth going up there, he says, even if you just want to fish watch. The water is clear, the fish are spooky. One day they're on, one day they're off, he said, but it's just amazing to see all these Atlantics in Lexington Harbor. So a little tidbit though that I did hear from some guys last year that had some success on those days when the fish were really tough to catch is a small spoon, a leader, and a fly. A lot of these fish are feeding on bugs. So if you can match the hatch, even as we were chatting about it, if you can match the hatch, you can still catch some of these fish. So downsize a little bit, go to light line. I mean, these fish are kind of big. I mean, he just had one weighed in like about 12 pounds when I was talking to him. Actually, somebody was bringing a head in. So there's some really good sized fish. So you're going to have a battle on your hands with that light line, but it's really worth it. Joel's also telling me that they're getting lake trout out in front of Port Sanilac in about 25 feet of water. Out in the front of the Black, so coming south a little bit from him, out in front of the Black, they're getting a mixed bag. They're getting Lakers, they're getting walleyes, they're getting cohos, they're getting steelhead, they're even getting a few of the Atlantics mixed in. But this recent rain and the falling temperatures has really pulled fish in there. The water clarity has gotten to the point where these fish are starting to feel more comfortable, and they're just easier to catch. Everything's going to keep picking up there and down here as well as the water temperatures keep falling. So talking about the water temps, down here, believe it or not, we've had some temps in the mid 40s. So 45, 46 degrees along the shoreline. The main lake temps now are around 48. So out by the channel, that warmer water, relatively warmer water coming down from up in Lake Huron. But so that's a great sign, guys. That means that we're headed the right way. And this extended forecast for this winter looks really good right now. They're actually calling for colder than normal temperatures, actually calling for more snow than normal too, which we don't like. So let's hope that we get the colder stuff before we get the snow so we can get a good ice base going. So panfish. Some of these guys are actually getting tired of catching these big crappies right now, and they're switching over to steelhead. I had a couple of guys come in today and said, man, we're tired of it. But I know a lot of you guys are really itching to get at a lot of these panfish that are in the canals. A lot of the boats are out of the marinas. So if you got kayaks or you got access to some of these canals and marinas, now is the time to really start hitting them. Water clarity is going to be one of the key factors. You might have one canal that's really dirty, you might have another one that's a lot cleaner. So kind of pay attention to that water clarity, and that'll probably be one of your guides to the better fishing right now on the panfish out there. Perch action. We got guys running all the way over to the Bell River hump, coming in here buying dang near a gallon of minnows at a time. And we got guys going down to Erie, they're doing well. Guys are really starting to poke around out here in front of the 400 Club and some of these other places closer to home. There's fish out there to be caught, guys. 9 Mile and further south is still doing well. I really believe we got a lot of fish moving their way up from Erie, and their guys are really pounding them down on that south end. And that just bodes well for us later in the season as we get into ice season out here. Smallmouth fishing is still tough for some guys. You really got to work at it, guys. The fish are really concentrated. If you go back and listen to that interview I did with Joe Bauer 2 weeks ago, he's right on the money. With these water temperatures now in the 40s, one of our guys, Chang, was out fishing this week, and he got into them pretty good after really working his butt off out there for about 3 hours. He finally got into them out in 11, 12 feet of water out here, not too far from Metro, so down in that Mile Road area. You really got to look for some structure, though. It's they're not going to be out there in the barren tundra. As Joe was saying, you really try to find some rock and a little bit of weeds mixed. Use your electronics, move around, and water clarity. So when you find those two things, the water clarity and that little bit of structure out there, you're going to find some fish. And it was pretty much lights out once he got into them. It was a fish every other cast, some really nice, nothing over 5 pounds, but a lot of 3-pound fish. So some really good, healthy fish and a lot of fun. I'm trying to think if I got anything else for you. I think that's muskie fishing. Muskie fishing is still going to be good. I know Captain Jason, they had a really good day out there. I think it was just yesterday, and I think that was one of his last trolling trips for the year. A lot of these guys are going to be out here casting right now. Spillway's still got fish out there. It's going to be a little muddy. We got a ton of rain, so depending on the wind direction where it's going to push that dirty water, I'd fish that break line wherever that dirty water break line is. Try to find some of that cleaner water, some of that off-colored stuff, not crystal clear, that green stuff, but nothing that's going to be too dirty or too clean. That's going to make those fish feel comfortable and feed. With the lower water temperatures, we should see a lot of bigger shad moving in, which is going to pull those muskies in. So with that, I think we're going to jump in and finish off for you guys that are interested in muskie. For you guys that aren't interested in muskie, we'll talk to you again maybe in another week or two when things change. And we're going to jump right in, and we're going to talk with Captain Jason, and he was right off the water when he came in for this interview last week. So we got Captain Jason Quintano here tonight, and man, he's fresh off of Lake St. Clair. Everybody's been battling the wind, right? It's just been horrible.
Wind.
Today we got a break, and you got out, and
finally one nice day.
Yep.
So, and then by the weekend, Saturday's supposed to be northeast again at 15 to 22. So back to reality, but tomorrow won't be too bad either. It's going to be lighter east winds, so we'll get back out there again and give it a shot. We did pretty well today. We're fishing the South Shore. Right now, if you get in anywhere, by the river mouths, the Thames, the Puce, Bell River, Ruscombe, the shad are moving in there, and the fish are following them. Right now, a lot of the smaller shad. I think the bigger shad are still out. I'm not really marking that many big shad yet. But there's definitely, smaller shad are moving in, and the fish are there. 10-inch baits are going right now. Ziggies, 10-inch ziggies, nils, headlocks, matlocks are definitely going too. What else we get them on today? Oh, and 9-inch grandmas are going today as well.
So you were trolling today over there? That was the game plan?
Yeah, we trolled today at a 6-hour trip. We started at noon. We got done at 7. By the time we got fishing, we were set up around 1 o'clock. It was a good day. We went 10 for 16. Got a really fat 50-incher. Another 47 by 21 and a half. Really nice fish. It was a good day. Things are definitely progressing faster than they have been in the last 2 years. Right now we got water temps anywhere from 47 to 50, depending on where you are in the lake. Last year at this time, it was 55 degrees still.
Really? We were warmer last year at this
yeah.
time.
Yep. We're definitely a lot cooler this year, which is good. So
Yeah, it is. I think that's something for all those guys out there I know that are waiting for the ice to come, because I know we had a warm summer, and man, these temperatures got really warm out there this year. But we've really made up for lost time here in the last couple of weeks, just with the below average temperatures, lots of wind, and even though it sucked for fishing, but with all the wind, it's really cooled the lake off, and it's pushing everything into a real fall pattern.
Oh yeah, yep. Like the fishing this year is what it's supposed to be like. Where we're fishing right now, last year around Thanksgiving, we were catching fish around the Bell and the Puce, and with a really good bite. And right now they're in there, so it's going good.
Are you really kind of keying on the water clarity right now too? I mean, is that directing a lot of where you're going?
Yeah,
or?
I mean right now, like today, it was pretty much dirty everywhere. I mean,
Okay.
like 1 foot visibility. So for casting, I mean, casting that's typically tougher. Casting at like 2.5 foot, 3 foot. Trolling when you're in 6 inches to a foot, the fish can key in on your bait a lot easier. Where casting, you're going down, you're going up, and it's a lot harder for the fish to key in on it. If you're going to cast in the mud, I'd say run your shed, your swimming dogs, your Poseidons, baits like that, because of the paddle tails. The fish can key in on those a lot easier.
They pick up that vibration and can home in on them.
Yep.
Dark colors then in the dirty water generally?
Yeah, dark colors or white. You can't go wrong with white in the dirty water.
It's been hot all year.
Oh, yeah.
It's been hot.
Yeah, it's been really good. With your 10-inch crankbait, so back to trolling, I mean, right now perches are going really good. Perch with an orange belly, yellow belly. And we got a really nice fish the other day on my buddy Eddie's boat, and it was a really fat 47.5. That was on olive frog matlock with a yellow belly. So frogs are going too, but the perches have definitely been good. Your chocolate perches, you can't go wrong with chocolate perch in dirty water. So.
Okay. Now, what about over here on the American side? I know you guys have been running mostly over there. We got a lot of guys that are maybe even kayak fishing, or they're coming up and they're stuck here on the American side. They don't have the Canadian license, or they may not have the rig to run all the way over there. I mean,
that as well.
It can be kind of scary out here on this time of the year, with the winds.
Well, Saturday I was with my buddy Eddie, because I had to cancel my trip, and that wind picked up, and it was something special, I'll tell you that.
Oh, it'll wreck your day.
Oh yeah, but on our side right now we got the spillway. There's fish between Grosse Pointe Yacht Club and Crescent Sail Yacht Club. Spillway is a lot of times it's really good in the morning, and it cools off, and you just got to keep on chucking. If you're casting, and follow your moon phases. I mean, that's the main thing. Stay on the spots where you think there's some fish. But the spillway's got some fish there. I don't think the big giants are in yet tight. I think they're still out in transition mode. Because I'm not marking that many big shad yet. Once those big shad pull in, then it's gonna be game time.
Now, that up on that north end, up in Anchor Bay, historically for us, if I get people that are looking for numbers and smaller fish, I usually send them up there on the weed beds. Is that legitimate even this time of the year, up by the river mouths up there on that north end?
Yep, there's some fish up there already. I know some guys that have been up there that they caught some fish. I typically like that mid-November on, but with the cooling water, it could get going up there earlier than normal. For some reason, the water's cooling off faster. With the high water we've had the last 2 years, usually in June, it's hard on us because the water's cold coming from here on. Anytime you get a north wind, it blows it down and knocks the water temperature on 6 degrees. Well, in the fall, it's a reverse effect. Lake Huron's so big and deep, it takes a long time for it to cool off. But with the cold temperatures that we've had, Hurons must be down because our temperatures are going down.
Yeah, when I was looking at the map today with the different buoy temperatures, I mean, way up in northern Huron, it's cooling off really quick.
Yeah.
Actually, it was kind of interesting because all the warm water seems like it's pulled down on the south end of the lake right now. And then Erie's still warm when I was looking at Erie. I mean, it's like a bath. I mean, relatively, it's like 4 degrees warmer than we are right now.
Yeah, I mean, right now we're anywhere between 47 and 50, so that's good for this time of year.
Oh, yeah. It's getting close to that. Won't be long, we'll be hitting that magic number that I like to watch when it hits that 39 degrees, and then everything stops moving then, and then we can actually skim over into canals. That means the end for you guys, though, unfortunately. Not the skim, but...
Not the skim, but, I mean, typically, hopefully, we can make it to December this year. Last year was warm, and then boom, game over. I mean, the weather just hit the.
Now you guys will get crazy numbers if you can go into November and December sometimes.
Yeah,
don't
I mean,
you? I've
yeah,
heard,
oh yeah.
like,
I mean, sometimes
just crazy numbers of fish.
You know, I mean, definitely. I mean, if we have the right pattern and the right temperatures, it could be outstanding. We'll fish up into the 15th of December, but last year we got shut down like a week, or probably like a week and a half early. I think we were done by like December 7th.
It got cold quick last year when it set in.
Yeah, but it was warm, and then boom.
Then boom, and then the bottom dropped.
So
out.
at least we have somewhat of a normal weather pattern going, which is nice.
No, it is. That's great. So you got anything else to share with these guys? I think that's kind of. I mean,
your 10-inch baits are going right now. I mean, don't be afraid to keep a 6-inch bait in the water. I mean, they're still hitting those too, because we're still sort of looking at transition mode. And then with casting, your bulldogs and your Medusas are going, and then with dirty water, I'd stick with your swimming dogs, your Poseidons, and shallow invaders as well. Those will typically get them going as well.
how are you guys set up on booking? You still got some open spots still?
I got like 2 days in November open, and that's about it. And I think like 1 or 2 days in December. But December I sort of hold off on, because with the weather we'll see how that goes. But yeah, we're gonna be in full mode here to try to catch those fall giants.
Your brother just won the nationals? Is that what just happened?
Yeah.
Him and Spencer?
Yep. Spencer Berman and my brother Matthew. They won the world championship in Indiana, which is a big deal. And then
Big deal.
They won the qualifier out here on Lake St. Clair right before in first place. So they had a tough start in the beginning, a cave run in Eagle River. But it was tough for everyone, unless you were local. You know what I mean? Those are only guys that caught fish. So, here they got it done, and more importantly, they got it done for a boat. So.
And that's really awesome, though, for you. Just for you guys' name. I mean, man, between, what was that Monster 60 you got out there this year?
No, 57, yep.
57?
Yep.
That was a beast.
I still really can't believe that. That's like, I really haven't gathered all of that yet. So, but, that was a giant. So now we're looking for the 40-pounders. So.
Well, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. Well, congratulations on a great season, man, for you and your brother. We still got, like you said, hopefully a month and plus to go out there, and some great fishing ahead of us.
Yep, definitely.
Yep. So, if you're heading up here to St. Clair, the fishing for the muskies is fantastic. I know a lot of guys are coming up for smallies, but I mean, the muskies. This is the time of the year up here. So even our shortcasters, as we get later and later in the season, these guys will pick fish up, and I'm not hesitant to send guys out to the points and stuff if they're really looking for fish. It's not a fish of 1,000 casts out here on St. Clair. No. I mean, you can.
Some days it feels like
Some
that.
days it feels like it, right? But that's for anything.
Yeah.
But you can legitimately go out if you're targeting skis, and you can get one in a day out here. So if somebody's coming up here and you really are just looking to, to check off that bucket list fish, you can do it up here. So
the main thing is too, like with guys coming from out of state or who don't really know the lake that well. Yep. Keep your eye on the wind. You know what I mean? Especially this time of year, because you can get yourself in some trouble in a hurry. So Sail Flow is a good app. Wind Finder. What the Weather Channel says isn't always the best.
Yeah, no. Weather Channel and AccuWeather, I don't generally trust them. No. I look at the front, says they're coming in, and I can usually predict if it's going to blow hard or not.
Definitely.
But so you definitely got to watch the wind out here. That's for anybody coming up for anything this time of the year. Bass, for perch, whatnot. Just pay attention to that weather. We don't need any accidents out there. It's not worth it. And when that water is cold, there's very little margin for error out here. It's just treat it like one of the Great Lakes. Give her a lot of respect.
Yes, 100%.
We'll see you again.